few more days until my holiday break, and I just want to say one thing. TLC was terrible. TLC was terrible. My review will be uploaded sooner than later. Anything else, Monday Night Raw was last night, so we just want to get this over with before my head starts imploding. Because somehow they thought we can be self-aware. We can be self-aware. We know that everybody doesn't like our product. We know that our show are devaluing in ratings, but our merchandise sales are going up because New Day is still irrelevant. We make it relevant, and we have no main eventers. We have no people that can stand out. So tonight was supposed to be a evolution or a new change up to WWE, like we haven't had that for the last couple of years. Yeah. So we're supposed to change up everything else, and now the McMahons are back uh, with complete control of both SmackDown and Raw. So they think that would be something new. Baron Corbin came up to see about his managerial position after Group came and helped Braun Strowman beat him with Heath Slater involved. So they wouldn't go back on that, and that would be the opening segment that took Baron Corbin that have a chance to redeem his job facing off against Kurt Angle. The way Kurt Angle been out of action for so many months now, it shocks me that they still want him to compete, let alone show his face on TV. In the beatdown took a toll, like half an hour was a toll on just Baron Corbin. It could have been on you're fired, or you're demoted, or you're back to becoming a wrestler, or some shit like that, because after the show, they just have him facing off against Seth Rollins. Dean Ambrose is your Intercontinental Champion if you did not watch the pay-per-view. I mean, I would just tell you during the review, but I don't care. Both shows were still a disappointment. Everything this year has been a disappointment. And I understand how WWE wants to play. It doesn't give a damn about making a good televised program, because anything else, it's still a program on primetime television that you got to show off to all types of demographic. Lowering your standards to just children devalues and limits your creativity. I thought YouTubers, televised programs, or at least former content creators knew how their how their own creativity can get limited in the wrong demographic, especially if you have that certain mentality that I know the McMahons, Triple H obviously have for an older demographic, and I'm shocked that they continue doing this, devaluing their product and how half-assing their pay-per-views have been forgettable. Nobody even remembers who won the Royal Rumble, if there was an Elimination Chamber, who else held the WWE and Universal Championship. What the fuck happened to Roman Reigns? What was Finn Balor doing? Who else was feuding at the time of this year? This is this year. It is 2018, and this is worse than 2017. How can you keep making the product less devaluable, and kids don't even want to watch professional wrestling anymore? It comes to these fat slobs I see. Even tonight, last night, it was in Sacramento, California. They were in fucking Sacramento, where more fans came up to see Monday Night Raw than they actually do watching a Sacramento Kings game. It's that depressing. It's that depressing that sometimes I feel like I don't want to watch pro wrestling. I've been watching this for nearly 15 years, bro. I ain't quitting. I, I don't want to say I quit watching pro wrestling. It's one of the things that keep me myself. It's one of the things that I feel comfortable watching on TV. Unlike football, unlike a few cartoons that are on like Futurama, South Park, and shit like that, it's one of the things that I enjoy watching. I like watching men and women beat the shit out of each other and give me a compelling storyline why these people are feuding. That's why I want to watch it. WWE doesn't feel like doing that, and this false self-awareness that they keep having for themselves, it consistently makes a more valuable show. Anything else, it just came up to Baron Corbin getting whacked off for like half an hour and crap. This entire segment was pointless. and Angle defeated Baron Corbin by the help of a lot of guys. Holy shit. It came up to a match that started after TLC with Finn Balor and Dolph Ziggler now feuding. Even though they both hated Drew McIntyre. So they just came and built up for a match that Dolph Ziggler looks like Ken from Street Fighter V with that weird noodle fucking hairstyle. And it came up to be an match, but you know Finn Balor was going to win. You just know Finn Balor was going to win. There was no point. Drew McIntyre. Finn Balor did not win. It was Drew McIntyre interrupting, and it came to a disqualification. So anything else, they'll be feuding. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I do not care. The end result was terrible. Next up was Dean Ambrose addressing Seth Rollins continuously. I've seen these guys feud since 2015. That's how devalued. They don't give a fuck about these wrestlers. They don't want them to show conflict or anything else. He faced off against Tyler Breeze in an open match. I didn't even know Tyler Breeze was on Raw, let alone still employed. In WWE now, they devalue everybody. They don't give a fuck. Anybody that is the most relevant, and by the way, Kevin Owens will be coming back, but who cares? It just disappoint me that you're trying to make a close match with Tyler Breeze, even though it could have been an easy squash match to show how strong Dean Ambrose looks. He has a big build. He looks better. He looks more threatening in the ring. Why do you have him have a close match with fucking Tyler Breeze, first of all? That's my question. It ended anyway, and it had Seth Rollins come up for them to continue feuding. But you want Seth Rollins to face off against Baron Corbin. They couldn't just schedule the match. Like one of the McMahons couldn't schedule the match for next week during the show. I'm just saying. That's why it failed. Nobody plans. Nobody plans in the WWE. It's been that forgettable of this year. I don't remember any big main event pay-per-view matches. Like, if it was like the 2000s, I can tell you anything. I can tell you anything, and I'll remember it like back of my hand. I swear to God. I was a big fan of CM Punk. I was a big fan of JBL. Big fan of Booker T, Triple H, John Cena. I can tell you anybody that happened, like SummerSlam 2008, John Cena and Batista. Batista won, and I can tell you in an argument, Batista was the best wrestler. I love doing stuff like that. Now I can't. That's how devalued WWE and professional wrestling have been, that you don't even want to find alternatives to the new product. Because any other fucking promotion that they have is either forgettable, there's no other way to watch it, you gotta pay to watch it, they don't have any cable television. There was Impact, and now they struggle to even find their own cable provider. They can't even find their own source to be watched. You gotta go on YouTube or at least find a local area where they do that shit. So yes, Dean Ambrose beat Tyler Breeze. Then there was Bobby Roode continuing to do Bobby Lashley. Let me tell you one thing. Bobby Lashley ain't shit. I think he would want this himself. He would rather go back to Impact. Because it's just him feuding with Elias Sampson. Leon Rush is still his boy toy. And I continue seeing no progression. Nobody aims for a championship. Thanks Brock Lesnar's holding on to the Universal title. And how much stuff about him being, oh, he's a part-timer. He's bigger than that. No, he isn't. He'd rather be back on UFC or any other shit than come back to the WWE and hold on to a belt for 2 months or 6 months and not do anything about it. I swear to God to you, I don't care. They would make him feud against Sami Zayn if he came back. And I don't even know where Sami Zayn is. Nobody knows. Nobody cares. Nobody even would know where Kevin Owens was the past 4 months. Oh my God. It's that poor. Cam with just Elias cracking in with a guitar, and then for them to have another match next week, even though we know Elias Sampson is just gonna win. None of this shit is well built up. You don't have segments backstage with at least Bobby Lashley breaking his guitar, messing up his songs. You let him still do these fucking poses that don't get him nowhere. It doesn't cause that much heat. It wastes screen time. It wastes screen time. Not it mocks the fans. It doesn't do any of that crap. It no. If you have no heels with any charisma or no actual supplemented writings in your shit, no one's gonna watch. No one's gonna watch. No one cares. So just boo you because you're wasting our screen time. You're wasting our watching time. It's a 3-hour televised show, and the most entire shit was a gauntlet match for the women's title. Then we had this fucking slow progressed, well choreographed, boring fatal four way. And yeah, it was a fatal four-way tag match. It was Authors of Pain with the B Team, Lucha House Party, that are still a thing. You know, just seeing luchadors with pinatas, this really tells you how PG and PC WWE is. With the revival that won it with some high flying moves, a few team moves. These are all the relevant tag teams. All the revival have nothing new to them. They don't. Nobody wants to. Nobody wants to conversate with anybody. Talk crap. They don't have much promos. Like, stop having an interviewer around. Let them talk by themselves. They don't need questions. They don't need questions. Let them build their own fucking character. If you need an interviewer, it's to build up a feud. Not to bring up these random cucks most of the time when they win a championship or win a random match. That's not how it works. You guys lose timing in anything. Whatever. They win off the right timing and pin one of the Lucha House part. No, they. I think one of them pinned. Yeah, they pinned Bo Dallas, and it would come up to the Revival winning a champion tag title opportunity against Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. What do they call themselves now? The American Glory? I don't know. I don't care. None of these tag teams seem interesting to me. None of them. Most of the interesting tag teams are on SmackDown, and most of the fans are tired of them even wrestling against each other because it's the same people. There's no variety now in the tag division. You can say it's diverse and shit, but nobody cares. The only positive about the show is Ronda Rousey. I swear to God. And she builds herself well as being this dominant champion and shit. And I want to see more of this crap. How do I take a woman from the UFC more seriously than any of these professional wrestlers that have been maybe wrestling for over 10 years, like Alicia Fox? Sasha Banks looks like an unprotected backyard 16-year-old wrestler. I hate Bayley, and I think she's an unsafe worker. I hate everybody else in the WWE in the women's division. Everybody else is irrelevant, cannot wrestle. Natalia won because she's actually a decent wrestler. Everybody else is either sloppy, ain't shit. This was a gauntlet. This was a gauntlet match. So it required 8 women. It's like the most women in the goddamn brand. You see how this didn't work? So it had Alicia Fox, Dana Brooke. Who else? Who else? Because I'm looking at a list here. Bayley got eliminated. Mickey James, Amber Moon, Ruby Riott, and Sasha Banks. That was pretty much it. It was performances. But the best was Mickey James and Amber Moon. That was pretty much it. But they set it up to such a high standard. They gave it a B plus. What the fuck? Anything else? I thought it was one of the best things in the show. I swear to God, like next year, if Raw gets worse, I swear to God I will stop watching. I swear to you. Next year. Because I know I'm just going to come up, do another review for next week. But oh my God, sometimes they want to put themselves into this podium that they can't do anything wrong. And they'll try anything to make the fans happy. And most of that crap, you can get away with that crap. It's been years And not a lot of your old fans or the younger fans were interested in watching your product, even last year or the last few years. Kids don't even want to pick up your action figures. Nobody talks about your video games. They'd rather play the NBA version of 2K than the wrestling version of 2K. And that's more embarrassing. That's incredibly embarrassing when the push comes to shove. Because the more times that happen, nobody would even hear about your current wrestlers. They don't talk about Steve Austin. They don't talk about they don't talk about Baron Corbin. They don't talk about Braun Strowman, Samoa Joe, Daniel Bryan. They don't talk about Roman Reigns. They talk about Steve Austin still, The Rock, more charismatic performers, more impressionable in the ring that look interesting to watch whenever you see them wrestle. When you see the current wrestlers wrestle, it's the most predictable, the most sluggish, what looks the most choreographed, what looks the most shitty, what looks the most least interesting. And I'm not gonna shove it off that say some of these wrestlers aren't athletically gifted. Some of these people look impressive in the ring sometimes, but when you actually see them, it's the most disinteresting, most unimpressive, the most unwatchable, and the most repetitive shit I've seen on television in years. The most fuckhead piece of shit wrestling I've seen in years. And I watched a lot of Impact. I watched a lot of Dragon's Gate. I see New Japan. And don't bring it up to New Japan because they'll be repetitive. Incredibly repetitive. Oh my god. And WWE continues doing this crap. So it'll be Natalia facing off against Ronda Rousey. That's literally it. How is Ronda Rousey bigger than most of the wrestlers you have on the roster? Seriously. Gonna leave it up to this note. Like, subscribe. Raw gets another 4 out of 10. Please stop making this shit product. I swear to God. There's, there's something about being self-aware and improving your show, but there's something being self-aware and doing smudges to clean up something that still looks dirty. Come on, thank you.